Hi peeps, last video of the day, but before we start with round 9 and 10 I just want to show you something, because I thought I had a miscount when I was doing the last video and I was going to pull it out and start again. I thought no, I'm going to show why. So there's a couple of places where I had a miscount and I had to double check, and this is where it's important to count the posts as well as the V's on the top of your stitch. I don't know if you can see very clearly here, but I've done it twice. So in round 7, when we were doing the half trebles, at this point here, this stitch here, I didn't fully complete it and then started the next stitch. So although I had 2 posts, I had by accident decreased to 1, which gave me 1 V on the top, which is why it's important to count your posts as well as the V's across the top. So rather than pull it all out, I wanted to show you. So I've hashed it together to get the right numbers to show you the next round. But this happened in 2 places, I noticed. So I've done it here. So we had 2 posts, but I only had 1 V. So when I worked into it before, it didn't come out right. But I just tried to continue so that you could see that it does work out. But it also happened on the other side here, which is why it looks a bit off. But again, there's 2 posts, but there was only 1 V. So again, like I say, I've kind of hashed it together, so I've got the right number to do the next round. But I just thought it'd be interesting to point it out to you, that when you're doing a round, your count below might just be wrong, so it's worth checking. Always count your posts as well as your V's. Like I said, I accidentally decreased in 2 places, which created a bit of an issue, but I've left them in just to show that although I'm a neat freak, I don't always pull everything out. Okay, so anyway, back onto the pattern. We're doing round 9, and I know I've got the right stitch now, the number of stitches now, because I put it right. And this is where we're joining the teal colour. We're still on a smaller hook. The remainder of this pattern from round 8 onwards was done in the smaller hook because there were tall stitches. So let's get cracking. So what it wants us to do is to join the yarn in any marked stitch. Well, I haven't marked the stitches, but it's the centre stitch. So as we know, we've got 5 in our corner, and there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts. So it's the middle post we need to be identifying. So 1, 2, 3, and the position of the hook, which is just to the right of that stitch. Okay, so that gives us our center stitch. So you're joining teal at this point, or equivalent color, and I'm joining pink just so you can see the difference. So what we're doing is we're doing 1 chain, which is identified as not being a stitch, and then we're doing 3 double crochets into the same place. 1, 2, 3. So that is our first corner done. Okay, so then we need to do a double in the next 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and this brings us to the skipped stitches. Okay, and what it's wanting us to do is to do a treble in around 7 between the stitches. Now if we go back to stitch anatomy, etc, etc, we have one treble there and one half treble there, half trebles, and where we need to insert our hook to get this stitch right, we need to insert into the first stitch and come out of the second. And if you see, there is a natural sort of catch for the hook to hold on to, and that's where the stitch is going to go around. So it's not really a front post stitch, but it's very, very similar. So this is where we're going to insert into the first skip stitch and come out of the second. Remember the post stitch and where the insertion is. Okay, so we wrap round to do treble in the first, out the second. Everything's done at the front of the piece of work, so we complete a treble which joins us up nicely with round 7, and then we need to put 3 double crochets into these 3 fans. So again, it's identifying where the stitch needs to go. So look at the first post, just off to the right is where we need to be. So 1, 2 and 3, and then we're doing the similar stitch we've just done in around 7. Everything's done at the front, so pull up and complete your treble, and then we're continuing to do our doubles across the next 9 stitches till we get to center post again. We'll just check where center post is. I'm in it, so we need to do 3 in the center post, turn, and we'll go back along this edge, so it's 9 doubles again. Treble in the first stitch, out the second, at the front of the work. Okay, pull up, 2, 2, then 3 across these 3 trebles in the middle there. Again, make sure you're putting your hook in the right place. Treble into the front of those stitches in round 7 to create that nice detail. Okay, and then off again with 9 doubles to the center post. If you've marked it with the marker, that's great. If not, I've shown you how to identify it. So we're at there now. 1, 2, 3 center post here. It's not easy to identify at this point because I think this is where the join is. But if I can get in with this hook, I will. We need to be putting 3. I can't. I'll have to use my smaller hook to get me started. Plus there's weaving in there as well. Can I get in now? Yeah, I can get in now. 2, 3, turn, and same again across. So we're double crocheting into 9 till we get to our chain space. We're nearly there, guys, we're nearly there. Okay, treble in, out, working in the front, 3 across the top of that little fan of 3. 1, 2, oh, split, 3, then treble into this front, okay, in there and out there, yarn over, pull up, complete. Okay, so we get a nice detail. I'm just chucking the pattern all over now, sorry. So we've got 9 to do to get to centre post. Ooh. I'll just check where I'm at here. So I'm in the first, that's the second, we're now at centre post, 3 doubles into this place, 1, 2 and 3, turn and in, so across, this is the last side, so we're doing 9. Show you this piece of, it's getting big now, so it's I have to keep checking that my hands are in the right place. It's not easy with baby bump getting bigger as well. So anyway, we digress. Over those 9, treble into there, like so, yarn over, pull up, complete, 3 doubles across that small fan of 3, double, this is the last one, pulling up and in. This is the only time I'll have used a slip stitch to join, peeps, but it's because we're continuing on in the same colour on the next round. So I've got one more to go, so we need the top of that first double crochet, oh, I've split it. Okay, pull. Before we continue, what we need to do, or what I will do, because I'm just getting the pattern to make sure I get it right, is weave in that very first join, because we're going to crochet over it. So if you've done it all the way through, why stop now? So crochet in the joining tail, and again I'll just do it quick because obviously you don't really want to see the boring weaving. Okay, so that's that round complete. So we've got all the details now, we've got all those trebles working into round 7. And we're on to round 10. Woohoo! Okay, so we're not changing colour, we're staying with teal. We're doing a chain of 3, which, if you have a look, is actually in the top of the first stitch of 3 in the corner. So now we're going to do the corner. So we need 3 trebles in this corner. And then we're just putting a treble in each stitch. Now there's no fancy having to work in other rounds or anything of that ilk, so we're just going to go along oh, you see, not concentrating, trying to go too fast. I'll do one side, guys, and I'll finish the ends off on the bits that we've done, just so you can see. I won't bore you with a full round of trebles, considering there's 112 stitches at this point, I'm quite sure you don't really want to see me do 112 trebles. I'm sure you're more than capable of completing this round without further assistance from myself. Again, I would finish it in the usual manner that I have every round in this piece of work, and I would weave the last tail in, but I would not cut it off. I would leave it on until those sides, or that side, had been crocheted over, to ensure that that tail is well and truly sealed in and is definitely not going anywhere, and will never go anywhere. So again, with full row of trebles there, over the centre post where we do 3 in that corner. 1, 2 and 3. And like I said, I'm not going to bore you with doing the full round, but you can see how I just finished that off nicely. And all I would do now, once finished, is turn over, gently tug each tail and snip. Gentle tug off. It is so satisfying to do this when you're finished and know that you don't have to weave anything else in, because you've already done it as you've gone around. Every single one of these tails is now crocheted over. It's now tightly woven in. It's going nowhere. No knots. Nice, smooth, clean finish. Oh, one more. So we have a nice, neat wrong side, peeps, and a nice, neat right side, with the couple of errors that I realised I'd made in round 7. But I thought, rather than try and pretend I hadn't done it, it would be best to point it out, because as I know, counting can be an issue, and it's just one of those little mistakes that can always come up. So there, it's quite big because it's chunky, but it's easier for you to see. So you just complete around your row of trebles, and like I say, finish. And like I said, the back is fairly neat. There's no lumps and bumps. It's nice and smooth. Okay people, that's the end of part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you need any further help with anything, please send me a message. If you want a video on something specific, let me know and I'll do my best. But I hope that what I've done helps you out. Happy hooking. Hope you enjoy this part of the crochet along, and I'll see you for part 3.